It's 2:07 a.m. and I can't sleep. Not because I'm not tired, but because my mind won't switch off, and no matter how much I try to ignore it, it always comes back to the same thing: money. It's strange how quiet everything gets at night, like all the distractions disappear and you're left alone with thoughts you've been pushing away all day. During the day, it's easier. You stay busy, you move around, you convince yourself you're doing something, making progress, figuring things out. But when everything slows down, when there's nothing left to hide behind, that's when the truth gets louder. And the truth is, I feel stuck. Not in a dramatic way, not like everything is falling apart, just stuck in this place where nothing really changes, where life keeps moving, but you don't feel like you're moving with it. It's like standing on a treadmill that never speeds up, never slows down, just keeps going at the same pace no matter how much effort you put in. You're not falling behind exactly, but you're not getting ahead either. You're just there. Every month feels the same. Money comes in, and for a brief moment, there's a sense of relief. Like maybe this time will be different. Maybe this time I'll manage it better, save more, move forward somehow. But then reality kicks in. Bills, expenses, things you can't avoid. And just like that, it disappears. Not all at once, not dramatically, just slowly enough that you notice it, but quickly enough that you can't stop it. And then you're back where you started. Again. There's something about that cycle that's hard to explain unless you've felt it. It's not just about the money itself, it's what it represents, the lack of progress, the feeling that no matter what you do, you're not building anything. You're just maintaining, surviving, resetting. And I keep telling myself I'm trying. But what does that even mean? Because if I'm really trying, shouldn't something be changing? That's the question that keeps coming back. And I don't have a good answer for it. I go through the motions, I do what I'm supposed to do, I think about ways to improve things, I tell myself I'll start something new, do something different, make a change. But then the day ends and nothing actually happens. And the next day looks exactly the same. It's not like I'm doing nothing. That's what makes it frustrating. I'm not completely still. I'm just not moving in a way that matters. And that's where it starts to get uncomfortable. Because when things don't change, you start looking for reasons. At first, it's easy to look outward. Circumstances, timing, opportunities. It makes sense, it's logical. But the longer it stays the same, the harder it is to keep believing that's the full story. Eventually the focus shifts, and that's where it gets difficult. Because then you have to ask yourself questions you don't really want to answer. Like, am I actually doing everything I can, or am I just doing enough to feel like I tried? There's a difference, a big one. And deep down, I think I know which side I'm on. It's just not something I like admitting. Because admitting that means taking responsibility for where I am. It means accepting that maybe this situation isn't just happening to me. Maybe I've played a part in staying here. And that's not an easy thought to sit with. But even that isn't the worst part. The worst part is what comes after. Because once you start questioning yourself like that, another thought shows up right behind it. What if I do more? What if I actually push myself? Properly, consistently, without excuses? What if I give it real effort and nothing changes? That's the fear that sits underneath everything else. Not just being stuck, but trying to get unstuck and failing anyway. Because as frustrating as this position is, at least it's familiar. At least I know what to expect. There's a strange kind of comfort in that, even if it doesn't feel good. But stepping out of it, actually committing to something, actually putting in effort that matters, that means risking disappointment. It means facing the possibility that it might not work. And that's a heavy thing to carry. So instead, I stay somewhere in the middle. Not completely passive, but not fully committed either. Just enough effort to feel like I'm doing something, not enough to actually change anything. And time keeps moving. That's the part that creeps up on you. It doesn't feel fast while you're in it. Days feel normal, manageable, nothing stands out. But then you look back, and weeks have passed. Months. And nothing is really different. The same thoughts, the same situation, the same quiet frustration that only shows up when everything else fades away. And that's when it hits a bit harder. Because you start to realize this isn't just a temporary phase. It's not something that's going to magically fix itself. If nothing changes, this could go on for a long time. Longer than I'd like to admit. And that thought is uncomfortable in a different way. It's not loud or overwhelming. It's quiet, but it sits heavy. The idea that I could still be here in the same position, feeling the same way, much further down the line. Looking back at this moment and realizing nothing changed. That's not something I want. Not even close. But wanting something different and actually creating something different are two completely separate things. And that gap between the two, that's where I am. It's strange how easy it is to convince yourself that you're closer than you actually are, that things are improving, that progress is happening, even when there's no real evidence of it. Just small thoughts, small intentions, small plans that never fully turn into action. And those things feel good in the moment. They give you just enough comfort to keep going. But they don't move you forward. Not really. And eventually that starts to show. Not in a dramatic way, but in a quiet, consistent way that builds over time. A feeling that something isn't right. That you're not where you're supposed to be. That you're capable of more, but you're not reaching it. And that's where the frustration comes from. Not just the situation itself, but the awareness of it. Because it's one thing to be stuck and not realize it. It's another thing entirely to see it clearly and still not change it. That's a different kind of pressure, a quieter one but heavier, and it doesn't go away easily. It just waits. Waits for the moments when everything slows down, when there's nothing else to focus on, when you're left alone with your thoughts, and then it comes back. The same questions, the same doubts, the same uncomfortable awareness. How long can this continue? What am I actually doing? Is this leading anywhere? Am I really trying? Or just convincing myself that I am? And the hardest one, if nothing changes, will I be okay with that? That question doesn't have an easy answer, because the honest answer isn't something I want to say out loud, but it's there. And it's clear, no, I wouldn't be okay with it. I wouldn't be okay with staying in this loop, repeating the same patterns, feeling the same pressure, watching time pass without anything shifting. That's not something I can accept, even if part of me has been acting like I can. So something has to change, not everything at once, not perfectly, but something. Because staying exactly where I am, doing exactly what I've been doing, thinking exactly how I've been thinking, that's already proven what it leads to. And it's this feeling, this place, this quiet frustration that doesn't go away. So maybe the answer isn't complicated. Maybe it's not about waiting for the right moment, or the perfect plan, or some sudden burst of motivation. Maybe it's just about being honest enough to stop repeating the same cycle, to stop saying tomorrow without meaning it, to stop convincing myself that things will change on their own. Because they won't, not like this. And that's not a comfortable realization, but it's a necessary one. Because at least it's real, at least it's something I can't ignore anymore. And maybe that's where it starts. Not with a clear direction, not with certainty, but with awareness. With that quiet understanding that this isn't where I want to stay. That this loop isn't something I'm willing to live in long term, and maybe that's enough for now. Not a solution, not a breakthrough, just that. Because pretending everything is fine hasn't worked. Waiting hasn't worked. Doing the same thing over and over hasn't worked. So something has to be different. Even if I don't know exactly what that looks like yet.